How's everybody doing today? Aloha! All right, so I'm Andy, and this is my lovely girlfriend Lynn. We're Surfing for Truth. If you may have seen us out there at some of these events that have been going on, and we were invited to say a few words today. This is not something we normally do, but we thought it might be fun to kind of let you know some things about us, and fun to share our story, to encourage others to get involved and take action too. So basically, I guess I wanted to get started on how we got started doing what we doing what we're doing now. So basically, as I'm sure a lot of you may know, essentially the media, they don't cover our events. So that's essentially what we wanted to do, is we wanted to step in there and do what the media is not doing, because essentially what they do a lot of the time is they'll show up at the beginning of an event before anybody gets there, or they'll show up at the end of the event when everybody's already gone, and they'll be like, oh yeah, 3 people showed up and this and that. So essentially, the media wasn't covering any of the lockdown protests that were happening in 2020. They weren't covering any of the Trump rallies that we were having, the massive Trump rallies that we were having in Hawaii. And we just wanted to let people know that these things are happening and that they're not alone. So I think when people know that these things are happening, they get energized and they want to be a part of it too. So we wanted to make sure that that message gets out there. And part of why we started doing what we were doing is we also wanted to encourage others to do the same thing and get involved and start covering these events. And everybody's now going live and doing all these kinds of things, sharing the message, and that's awesome, because we really need to get the word out there. And so basically that's kind of how we started. It's kind of like, okay, we got the camera gear, let's just do it. And we got really great feedback, so we just kept doing it, and we're getting more traction, and it's been a really fun experience. Something that we've been sort of doing a lot more lately is we've actually been covering a bit of the news and a bit of the officials here in the government. So basically, what happens is these officials in the government, they're doing, these half-an-hour interviews, a couple times a week, and they're doing all these little segments on the news, and they'll pick out like one tiny little segment of these 30-minute interviews that supports the narrative of the media and the establishment, and that's the only thing they'll focus on. But other people don't know that there was a half an hour of other material, and they say some really outrageous things. So, kind of going in line with our name, Surfing for Truth, and just for anybody that doesn't know, it's surfing the number 4 truth, no spaces. But yeah, so going in line with that name is we wanted to bring the truth to people and let people know what they're actually really talking about in these interviews, the things that they're not telling you. And in a lot of cases, they're actually telling us what they're going to do before they even do it. So you, in a sense, can tell the future by what they're saying in these interviews. So we've been doing a lot of that lately, putting out little 1-minute videos of everything that's been going on in in the government, and locally and state, and all that kind of thing. So basically, we're big supporters of freedom, big supporters of Trump, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's truth first, and you can't have anything else without truth. And so that's really important to us. For me, the last thing that I kind of wanted to mention is that if we're all waiting for somebody else to do it, we're going to be waiting forever. It's up to each of us to do whatever we can do and get involved and do our part. Everybody has a role to play. Whatever you can do with whatever, skills and talents that you have, just get involved and make it happen. So that's all I had for today, and I'll give it over here to Lynn.
I've got little cheat notes here because we're usually behind the camera, not speaking. So anyway, going to give this a try, and I'm going to add on a little bit to what Andy was saying. We consider ourselves digital soldiers. We're in an information war, and I know a lot of you out here as well are fighting this fight alongside us. But we hear that term get thrown around a lot, information war. But I wanted to today, really internalize that. To understand what it means, how we fight back and what the point is in all of that. So what it means is that information has been weaponized. Yeah, so our enemy, and we know who they are. They are those that are trying to control us. They are those that are trying to get us into a new world order. They are using information, and they are using the suppression of information to get us to do things that are not good for us, but that are good for them. They are trying to manipulate us, and they are trying to get us to voluntarily follow their agenda and follow their plan. And that's a lot easier for them to do than it would be to force us, right? Especially because we have guns. So that's my little side note. Don't let them take those away from us, right? So, we really need to recognize that this is an attack, a real attack, and we need to counter that attack. And the way we do that is we counter what they are doing. We expose the lies, we expose the liars, and we put truth out there. We promote truth. So I think something that, certainly has happened to me, and I'm sure has happened to a lot of you guys, when we go out there and we put our information out on social media, we get friends like ridiculing us or belittling us. It's like, oh yeah, don't waste your time, you're not going to change anybody's mind, nobody cares, it's just a waste of space. They are wrong. These naysayers are wrong. We are fighting fire with fire, and we're effective. We all know that we're effective because I know that every single one of you has been in Facebook jail. I know that every single one of you has had a bogus fact check slapped over their posts, correct? And so we know that they are afraid of us, right? And I'm going to tell you why they are afraid. They are afraid because what comes, the catalyst. Hi there, Oreo. The catalyst. You'll speak later too. The catalyst to action is information, and it is knowledge, and it is understanding. Something that we're all, really concerned with at the moment with the pandemic and the vaccines is this forced vaccination on us. When people learn the real risk with vaccines, they will say no to the boosters. They will say no to injecting their children. When people learn the truth about election fraud, they are going to demand that we find a way to secure our elections. When people find out about crimes against humanity, they are going to demand justice. When people learn that they have been lied to, they are going to stop listening to those who are telling them those lies. And when people realize that there's others that think like them, they're going to find the courage to also speak up and to also push back. So that's why we really advocate for and really encourage everybody to speak your mind. Speak your mind, post your stuff, share our content, share other content, and I know a lot of you do, but be the example, right? And I know some people are shaking their heads. A lot of you out there are doing that, and we just want to keep encouraging you. We need to lead by example. We need to let others know that they're not alone. We need to speak up. We need to speak our mind. We need to stand our ground. We need to stand firm in our beliefs. And that's how we win. So thank you all so much for your support. You have no idea how much it means to us, to get the comments of encouragement, all the likes, all the shares, and especially when we're out at events, people coming up to us and going, hey, you're surfing for truth, and then we get to meet people in real life. So thank you so much. Together we will shine the light on truth. Together we will usher in the Great Awakening, and we can't do it without you guys. So mahalo, aloha.
I just wanted to say, one more thing. Let's give a round of applause to all the people that put this event together today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I forgot to say one thing that was on my list. Hold the frickin' line, everybody.
Hey, you guys, I was so excited to start this that we forgot that we have this beautiful flag here, and Kaimi is going to play the Star Spangled Banner for us.